Greetings, and welcome to the 19th annual A Toast Among Ghosts. We wanted to take a moment to thank the Friends of the Nancy Carson Library Foundation for sponsoring this contest every October. We also want to give a hearty thank you to the teachers of Aiken County and beyond who help promote our contest and send us the most blood-curdling tales. This is the middle school portion of the toast. We begin with third place and continue until we reveal the first place winner. Thank you all for watching. Let's begin. And welcome. This is our third place winner, Aaliyah Sabo. I hope I said your name right, Aaliyah. The title of the story is From the Gates Behind Which I Stand. From the gates behind which I stand, I will tell you my story. My story. One I recommend you don't read at night. Or around Christmas time, I'm afraid. I'm not going to beat around the bush. This story is without modification. Sugarcoating is not my thing. I'm just warning you. This all started when I was a young, curious child of 12 years old, full of imagination and animated in every way. For me, my imagination flares up, especially during Christmas time. I guess that's how I ended up here, behind these gates. But I'll never know. Nevertheless, there I was one Christmas evening, baking cookies for Santa and doing all the other preparations. Since I was 6, I had snuck out of my room at night to see if I caught Santa Claus. If only I'd fallen asleep too soon to do so. I snuck out of my bedroom and tiptoed to the living room. We lived in a one-story house, so I couldn't scurry up and down the stairs like children did in all those Christmas songs. I knew every word of them, too. I looked around. No Santa. I wish I'd gone to my room to cry, but no. I stood there as my eyes teared up. I thought I'd never find him. What was the sense in it? I'd been looking since I was... Then I opened my eyes. God, I wish I hadn't, and I blinked a couple of times. Through my teary blinks, I saw a round figure. Was it a person? No, more like a silhouette, I suppose. The tears ceased. Hello? I asked tentatively. I felt ashamed to sound so freaked out, because I was always tough and cocky, but I didn't let one little mistake get to me as I crossed my arms over my chest. All I heard was a loud, deep rumble. It didn't turn around, though. I didn't know what it was, who it might be, or what it was here for, but I did know it hadn't been there a minute or two ago. Who are you? I asked. The thing still didn't turn around. I should have turned around myself and left it, but of course I did the exact opposite and thought about it. Then it hit me, or so I thought. Hey, are you Santa Claus? Then it turned and looked me dead in the eye. All I saw was a still silhouette, sharp red eyes staring back at me. Then it started to form into more of a human-looking thing. His already red suit had splotches of a darker shade of red all over it, including his hat. His cheeks were a little too rosy. When he smiled at me, it looked like he was missing at least a dozen teeth. His boots had maroon-colored sticky stuff on them. I looked back up into his eyes, and his pupils were still red, the color around them empty, reflecting me and the look in my own eyes. Stunned. Now, I expected him to say something like, "Yes, child," or "Guess what your Christmas present is?" But it went something like this. "Oh, you think I'm Santa Claus, do you?" This rolled into a series of laughter, grunting, and something that sounded like choking. Yeah, I said, my cocky attitude that had always gotten me in trouble shining through. Well, at least I did. Never would have thought you looked this bad. I mean, I knew you were old and all, but... I was interrupted by more laughter and wondering what the heck my parents were doing, that they weren't waking up and helping me out here. Wait, maybe this was just them playing a prank on me. No, they were probably sound asleep. My dad had some serious martial arts skills, supposedly. Excuse me, I yelled, and the thing stopped laughing. immediately giving me this what the look. "Oh," it said, "you're one of those, eh? Well, here's your Christmas present." It handed me a box with wrapping paper on it. I don't know what the heck he was thinking, or what I was even thinking for that matter. The wrapping paper was covered in bloody dolls and pig faces. I mean, ew! Did he really think I was going to? But I did. I took it, and I don't know why, but I did. I untied the bow that looked like it was rags stitched together and covered in red paint. The paint was still wet, the parts that had dried, brown. I unwrapped the box that was under the paper. Then finally I opened the top to look at what lay inside. It was empty. Wait, what? I looked up to where he was before, but he had vanished. I wanted to ask him what this was and why the heck he gave me an empty box, but I just sighed and began walking back to my room. I started up the stairs and... wait. I live in a one-story house. I don't have stairs. I whirled around, but all I saw was empty darkness. As my eyes got better adjusted to the eerie dark, I saw a door and only a door. Nothing else. Okay. Spooky, huh? I opened it up. Probably just another one of Santa's stupid jokes. I felt for a light switch and found one. When I flicked it on, though, the room was lit with a dim yellow light, and I saw a desk with paper and one of those literal quill pens to my right. Cool! Then to my left, I saw a mirror with a couple of cracks in it. I walked over to it and saw my reflection, only I looked older. My hair now was short and curly. In my reflection, it was still curly but long. I had been wearing pink pajamas with red hearts on them, but in the mirror, I was in a blue oversized t-shirt and black leggings. I looked to be wearing white Converse, but I don't wear anything on my feet to bed. That was odd. Then I looked at my feet and saw white Converse. I tugged on the oversized blue t-shirt that was overlapping my black leggings and felt my curly hair spill around my shoulders. Then I looked up to see an elf. "Oh, don't you just hate it when little children grow up and stop loving you?" it asked me. So apparently this one's quirk was that he had to speak in syllables. Weirdo. "I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything," he continued, "but you older kids are so dumb. You don't even believe in Santa Claus anymore." "What are you even talking about?" I asked. "I'm 12. "No, you poor thing," it said. "You're 17. Oh, so the mirror changed me. "You see," the elf began, "my name is Jack. I like to joke with little kids. But you, dear, I am not joking. I am serious. You have to be 17 to be put behind the gates. So therefore I must make you 17, because I cannot stand waiting any longer for you. You will have to be branded as ours and endure much pain." "Why me, though?" I asked him. Ask now, panic later. "I was just getting to that, dear. Now we have chosen you because your mother and father have never believed in Christmas enough to be fooled. Neither have any of your ancestors. But you do, or did. However, most likely you never will again. So now I must take you." "Try me," I said, getting angry now. "I don't really have to." Next thing I knew, my hands and feet were bound, and I couldn't move. A sickeningly sweet smell filled my nostrils and my head until I passed out. And that's all I remember until about 17 months after that. I woke up to see that stupid Santa's face again and felt a sharp pain on the left side of my stomach. He was smiling. Still. Then I looked to where I was hurt, and I had something like "The Gates" branded into my stomach. It hurts terribly. And next thing I knew, I was asleep again until about a week ago. So now I am trapped behind these gates, and I will never be free. I thought I felt miserable before, but I have never felt such true misery. I am 32 now, with a gray hoodie and sweatpants on, and when I'm 46, I'll get another branding. It's like a routine, if you will. Whenever they feel like branding me, I guess. I have 2 now. I've been through a lot. I hate Christmas with a passion, and I've told you this story from the gates behind which I stand. And that story was by Aaliyah Sabo. Congratulations, Aaliyah. And now for our second place middle school winner, Eric Zelmer's Home Invasion. It was getting late. He should be in bed by now, but instead Greg was ordering a steak. He liked his steak very rare, so it didn't take long for the server to bring it out. He wolfed it down and licked the juice off his lips. He leaned back and looked around. He was the only person in the restaurant besides the underpaid employees of the open 24/7 diner. He paid and walked to the door. As he left, he waved goodbye to the cashier. The teen sitting at the cash register, bored and tired, couldn't be bothered to care. As Greg pulled into the driveway of his recently obtained and unreasonably expensive house, he did his nightly routine of promising himself that he would rent out the guest house, and wondering if his incredibly old and unreasonably expensive car could go just one more day without a wash. He had been doing this ever since he'd inherited the house from his late father. He had bought his car with the inheritance money, but that was his only big purchase. He never liked his father's lifestyle, especially because his dad used the job responsible for all his money as an excuse to not be there for him. His father had been the kind of person that thought money could buy happiness and anything else his child might desire. And so, in an act of defiance, Greg got a job as a night watchman, making a small salary, and donated the remainder of his wealth to charity. He now lived a fairly normal life. Well, as normal as it could be, considering his schedule. Greg parked the car, hoping in vain that it would rain, even though the sky was clear. It looked like he really was going to have to clean the car. As he walked up to the door and put the key in the lock, he looked at the gargoyles perched up on the roof, their faces stuck forever in horrible grimaces. He shuddered at the sight of them and decided at that moment that he would like to have them taken down at his earliest convenience. This likely meant never, but he didn't care. It made him feel better just thinking about it. He unlocked the door, walking into the gratuitously ornate entranceway with double staircases that arched over the hall entrance. Greg, being tired, took the one on the right and went upstairs to his room. He laid down and turned on the TV, sagging down in the soft mattress of his large bed. A puppet, resembling a skeleton in a tattered tuxedo, appeared on the TV. "I am the puppet master," he proclaimed, "and I have a doozy of a story tonight. No bones about it." He cackled violently until his jaw fell off. He bent over and popped his jaw back on, saying, "Sorry, folks, that was a jaw-dropper." Greg began drifting off as the puppet broke into a fit of cackles again. As other puppets appeared on screen to act out a spooky tale, Greg had already fallen into a dreamless sleep. Greg was startled awake by a faint banging sound. He was momentarily confused, but then remembered that he had left the TV on. He sunk back into his bed and within a few seconds was half asleep. Suddenly he shut up again, awoken by a louder banging. It sounded like it was coming from downstairs. Greg got out of bed quietly, worrying about what could be making the noises. He opened his door and creeped silently downstairs. He saw the front door being violently shaken by deafening blows from the other side. Every blow reverberated through his skull. Suddenly, sleep was the last thing on his mind. He scanned the room for a barricade, his eyes landing on an end table by the door. Quickly, he grabbed it and violently shoved it against the door, realizing a second too late that the noise he made had alerted the intruder of his presence. The banging stopped, and he heard the intruder run down the steps. He tried to think of where else the intruder could break in. The back door. He ran under the arch of the double staircase and turned out from the main hall into the dining room, where he stopped and grabbed one of the many chairs from the table. As quietly as possible, he ran out of the dining room and down the hall to the back door. As he pushed the back of the chair under the intricate brass knob, he was careful to not make noise. He heard a soft metallic clank, followed by another, then a soft thud. The intruder had scaled the wrought iron fence that surrounded the backyard. He expected the barricade to hold for a few minutes, so Greg flew back up the stairs and into the study, frantically grabbing the phone. He dialed 911 and hoped that someone would answer. No answer. He dialed again. Then he realized that it wasn't ringing. The line had been cut. Swearing under his breath, he tried to think of what else he could do, regretting having never purchased a cell phone. He heard the sound of the door being shaken from downstairs. "I need a weapon. Dad kept his antique Colt Walker in his trophy room." He ran down the hall and into the trophy room, hearing the banging downstairs escalate. He snatched his father's vintage Colt Walker from its case. He took the ammo and powder flask from the case and poured measures of the black powder into 3 of the cylinders and put the lead balls in on top. He unhooked the loading lever and fumbled with it, nearly dropping the gun as he seated the ball. He put the caps on the nipples in the back and worried that he hadn't loaded it correctly, but still fairly certain that he was doing it right. Suddenly, he realized that something was amiss. The banging had stopped. He waited a few minutes in terror, hoping that the intruder was gone. The silence allowed him to contemplate the horror of the situation, making him beg for something to break it. "Be careful what you wish for, Greg," he thought to himself. To his horror, he heard the splintering of wood coming from below. He swore again and bolted down the stairs. He looked on in terror as a jagged hole was being punched through the door. The metallic shine of an axe head gleamed between shards of splintered wood. The axe head vanished, and another hole appeared next to the first, larger this time. The rhythmic crack of the axe was a terrifying symphony. He realized that the intruder had probably taken the axe from the unlocked tool shed. "Here's Johnny," he thought to himself, as the axe brutally punched another hole in the mahogany door. He steadied himself and approached the door, his arm shaking so much that he could barely hold the gun. Another blow, then another. By now he could see the intruder readying his axe through the enlarging hole. The hinges screamed in anguish as one final blow smashed the door in half, the remaining half barely clinging to the hinges. Greg cocked the hammer back on the gun, steadied his hand, and fired at the intruder. The recoil sent the gun into his face, cutting his forehead. In surprise, he stumbled backward, nearly losing his balance. The man, left unscathed by the bullet, tossed the axe aside and stepped through the shattered fragments of the door. Greg fired off another round at the intruder. The recoil wrenched the gun out of his hand and onto the floor. Greg made a grab for it, but hit it with his foot, knocking it across the floor out of his reach. In a panic, he ran down the hall and through the entryway to the front door, nearly tripping in the process. He reached the door and grabbed the end table to shove it away. Suddenly, a sharp retort shattered his eardrums, and splinters exploded from beside his hand. He turned around and saw the intruder holding a revolver. The gleam of silver emanated from 5 of the chambers. In terror, Greg violently shoved the end table out from under the doorknob as a second bullet punched a hole in the plaster beside his head. He turned the lock and fumbled with the knob, turned it again, and tumbled outside. He turned around to look at his assailant, expecting the sharp retort of a third shot. To his surprise, he saw the man holster his gun. Greg sighed in relief. Then he turned around and realized why the attack had stopped. He screamed as he dissolved in the rays of the rising sun. The intruder stared down at the pile of ashes that was all that was left of the creature. He took off his ski mask and walked calmly out of the front gate and down the block to his car. He got into his car and turned the key, plopping the ski mask on the dashboard and setting his bag in the passenger seat. Thank God I didn't have to use the wooden stake, he thought to himself. That always gets messy. He stepped on the gas and rounded the street corner, disappearing off into the early morning sunrise. Congratulations, Eric. And our first place prize goes to Adelaide Zelmer with her story, A Broken Doll. Sunday, November 8th. Dear Diary, Hi, I'm Ellie. I have long blonde hair and bright green eyes. I love unicorns, cake, and toys. Today is my birthday and I'm turning 9. Also, I have to write really quickly because it is almost time for dessert. We're having cake. For gifts, I received a yo-yo, a doll, and you. Right now, my doll, I named it Ella, is sitting on my dresser next to a photograph of my parents at the state fair. And I can tell you a little about my parents, too. I don't remember my father well because he and my mom got divorced when I was 3. I should be with my mom right now, except she is sick and cannot take care of me. I am living with my foster parents, Lila and James. They are awfully nice to me, and they are calling me down to eat now. See you later. Your new friend, Ellie. Monday, November 9th. Dear Diary, remember when I told you about my new doll? Ella has light brown eyes and dark brown hair. She has a yellow dress with blue flowers on it. This morning when I woke up, she was sitting on my lap. That's strange, isn't it? I guess Lila or James must have moved her there to comfort me. See, I told you they are nice. Today in math class, my friend Mary was making funny faces at me instead of listening to the teacher. So when she was called up to do a problem, she just made a lot of complicated fake formulas on the board and made everyone laugh. It was so funny, I almost died laughing. She got a bad grade on participation, though. And I played with Ella when I got home from school. She's so lifelike. I almost forget that she is a doll. I think that is all I have to say for now. See you later. Your friend always, Ellie. Tuesday, November 10th. Dear Diary, Nothing interesting happened at school today. Earlier today I had to do dishes for chores, but I finished. I'm now watching Lila cook supper. This morning I was looking for Ella, but I couldn't find her. A few moments ago, Lila called me over to look at something. She said, "Please remove your doll from the knife drawer, dear." So I went and checked it out. I don't know how it ended up there, though. I must have accidentally put her there while I was doing the dishes. I can be very forgetful at times. And yes, Diary, I did say I was sorry. I'm going to give her her own little seat at supper. I think that is enough excitement for today. Also, it's time to eat. See you tomorrow. Yours truly, Ellie. Wednesday, November 11th.
Dear Diary, school was fun today. We had to play kickball in gym class, and our team won. I was the best kicker. Also, once I got home from school, Ella and I had a play picnic, and I could have sworn I saw her blink. I wondered if she was one of those blinking dolls, so I tried to make her blink again, but I guess I was wrong because I didn't see her do anything after that. Nothing else exciting happened today except for the fact that we're going to be eating chicken pot pie and have cupcakes for dessert tonight. See you later. Love, Ellie. Thursday, November 12th. Dear Diary, today as we were driving to school, I discovered that Ella was in my backpack. Isn't that strange? I didn't put her there, so I guess it must have been Lila or James. Was I too sleepy to notice taking it with me? Anyways, in math today, Kathy was eating chips instead of doing her work, and the teacher, Mrs. Mandy, got onto her. She got in huge trouble. I thought it was funny, but that might be because I don't really like Kathy. She's always so mean. See you later. Bye. Ellie. Friday, November 13th. Dear Diary, when I got home from school today, I heard a clicking noise coming from my room. I went to check it out and found my toy typewriter, which I keep in my closet, was out. My doll was sitting next to the typewriter, and the typewriter had a piece of paper with writing on it. It said, "Do as I say, and listen, but tell no one." I shoved the typewriter back into my closet. But what is going on with the doll? Is someone messing with me? It is Friday the 13th. Am I crazy? Is my doll alive? No, the doll's not alive. That's just insane. I need to think about this some more. See you later. Yours truly and concerned, Ellie. Saturday, November 14th. Listen, Diary, I have a secret to tell. Remember my mom's illness? It's actually a mental illness, and they took her away because she said that she felt like she was being followed all the time and kept seeing things that weren't there. I want to tell someone what is going on with my doll, but what if they think I'm going crazy, just like my mom? What if I am going crazy, just like my mom? What should I do? I've been listening like the note said, but I don't hear anything except the chirping of birds. Is James playing a trick on me, or maybe my friends are? I don't know. Should I ask if it's a trick? No. What would they think? I'm going to put the doll in the attic. I'm really afraid right now. See you later. Extremely concerned and afraid, Ellie. Sunday, November 15th. Dear Diary, the typewriter is out of the closet again. I found a piece of paper in my typewriter and it said, "Ill them." That sounds kind of like Yoda talk. Ill they are. But who is ill? My foster parents? Is it mental, just like my mom? Am I crazy? I am told that I sleepwalk, so maybe I typed it in my sleep. But why? I hope my foster parents aren't sick. They're really nice. See you later, your friend and journalist, Ellie. Monday, November 16th. Dear Diary, on my way to school again. Also, my foster parents are fine. They told me they were not sick. But what did the typewriter mean if they're not sick? Did it lie? Are they mentally ill? Am I? I know the typewriter is real. I used it to write a story for school, and I had to get James to fix the K key. My story is called That Adventure of Al the Unicorn. Wait, do you think that the paper was real? Am I crazy? Will they lock me up just like they did with Mom? I have to go. We're at school now. I'm glad I at least have you to confide in. Yours truly, Ellie. Tuesday, November 17th. Dear Diary, the doll is back in my room. I have no idea how it got there. Tomorrow I'm going to dump the doll in the trash at school. Then I won't have to deal with it. I've been having more and more trouble sleeping at night, and I think it is related to the doll. See you tomorrow. Love, Ellie. Wednesday, November 18th. Diary. I dumped the doll in the dumpster at school. But when I got home today, she was back sitting on my bed. So I got Lila and James to take me to the store with them. And while they were shopping, I took the doll out of my backpack and shoved the doll way back behind a bunch of TV dinners in the frozen food aisle. Also, I haven't touched my story since yesterday, but now the following letters have been circled in permanent marker. KILLANDJAMES. Kill Lila and James? What should I do? I can't possibly tell anyone. They'll think I'm insane. Will they lock me up? I can't let that happen. Do I sound insane, diary? Because I think I might be. It's time for bed. Maybe I'll go to bed and wake up and my problems will be gone. I hope so. Good night, diary. Ellie. Thursday, November 19th. Diary. I woke up late last night and I was laying there and I heard a whispering noise. The doll was back and it whispered, "Kill them. Kill Lila. Kill James." I freaked out and I destroyed it by smashing its face very hard into the floor until it broke. There was a lot of stuffing and shards of broken glass, which used to be the eyes, and what appeared to be blood on the floor. My foster parents burst in asking why I was screaming. At first they asked what happened and if I was okay and stuff like that, and then after they discovered what happened, they acted really angry. They started screaming about me, about how they made that doll and how I didn't know what respect was and how hard it was to get materials. And James shouted about how he's going to make me pay. I told them I was sorry, and they made me promise I would help them make a new doll, even after I told them I did not want another doll. Lila actually looked a little sad about it. Then they locked me in my room. Something isn't right. I mean, how could I possibly help them make a doll? I can't sew. And why do they care that I broke it? It was telling me to kill them. And I don't even want to see another doll again. I love you, Ellie. That was the last entry. I closed the beautiful leather-bound diary and set it down. I have a strong urge to shove it back under my mattress where I found it. But now I know. I understand. I gaze at the beautiful blonde-haired, green-eyed doll on my bed. I can hear it faintly whispering now. Kill them, please. Don't worry, Ellie. I understand, I said to her. I slipped downstairs and grabbed the hatchet from the utility closet. I know what I need to do.
Congratulations, Adelaide.